Hello and welcome to another edition of Newsroom series right here on Channels Television. I'm Anne Mwawadu. Some of our top stories were the Northwest Peace and Security Summit holding in Katsina State parades the largest number of high-profile dignitaries and citizens under one roof in recent times, from the Vice President of Nigeria to the former President Muhammadu Buhari serving, and former governors from the region, members of the diplomatic corps, security chiefs and traditional rulers. The federal government and Northwest governors are joining forces to end the insecurity challenge in the northwestern region of the country. The Vice President and the governors of the northwestern region at the opening of the Northwest Peace Security Summit in Katsina agreed today that the time has come to drop political affiliation and join hands to end the herder-farmers clashes, banditry and general insecurity in the country. The Vice President hinted that the federal government has approved a sum of 51 billion naira to aid the fight against insecurity, and explains that the president is also committed to making Nigeria safe for investors and citizens. The Northwest Security Summit was hosted by the governor of Katsina State.
We also thank our presence here is a communal gathering to address the afflictions that have threatened the stability and unity of this great house. I am honored to join you in reflecting on our path to extinguishing the fires we were elected to put out. Beyond the economic rationale that drove the amalgamation of the northern and southern parts of Nigeria, the formation of our great nation was inspired by the need for mutual protection. But I ask, how can we achieve this sacred objective if one part is afflicted? We have long established that whatever else any part of this federation destabilizes the other. So the issue of national security in the Northwest is not a sectional agenda. We promise to make Nigeria safer, and this aim has been our topmost priority since we came to office over a year ago. We realize that achieving the peace we seek necessitates addressing the historical injustices that have torn communities apart. We must also reverse the institutional priorities governing security and the economic dysfunctions that create vulnerabilities to crime. We must also counter the ideological mischief that has pervaded the discourse of peace and security in the region. Our meetings over the past few months have shown our readiness for a paradigm shift in achieving peace in northern Nigeria. We have established the need for combining military interventions with police reform, local policing enhancement, peace-building programs, dialogue promotion, and educational campaigns to address the underlying causes of conflict. We have also identified a roadmap that includes integrating military, political, and socio-economic strategies, enhancing cross-border cooperation, investing in youth empowerment and education, strengthening local institutions, promoting inclusive dialogue, prioritizing prevention and resilience building measures, and engaging regional neighbors for support.
Let's shift gears now as we turn our attention to the southwestern region of Nigeria with the meeting of the Southwestern Governors Forum, which started around 1:15 p.m. It is underway at the Presidential Lodge in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. Well, governors of Lagos State and the chairman of Southwest Governors Forum, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, alongside other governors from Abia, Ekiti, Oyo, Edo, Osun, and deputy governors of Imo, Delta, all have arrived for the Southern Governors Forum meeting in Abeokuta, the state capital. Well, they were received by the governor of some security deputy governors present also took their turns to inspect the guard of honor mounted by men of the Nigeria Police at the Presidential Lodge, which is the venue of that meeting. They were received by the governor of the state, Dapo Abiodun, and other state officials. Although the agenda for that meeting is still yet to be communicated, it may not be unconnected with the issues of security in that region, the topical issue of contentious minimum wage, among other matters. 17 governors from the Southwest, South-South, and Southeast geopolitical zones are attending that meeting to be slated today at the Lodge, and we'll bring you updates as they come. But right here in Lagos State, the Commissioner for Environment and Water Resources, Tokunbo Wahab, has served a 48-hour notice to property owners whose buildings are blocking the drainage path. Mr. Wahab made this known during an inspection exercise of mainland and Lagos Island canals. He says that after 48 hours notice, another 14 days notice will be issued before enforcement is carried out. The Commissioner emphasized that the government will stop at nothing to reclaim all drainage setbacks.
Illegal structures blocking water channels are a major headache for the Lagos State government. And with cholera situation creating a new health pandemic in some parts of the state, there's no better time than now to remove them. The Lagos State Commissioner for Environment and Water Resources, Tokunbo Wahab, and his team are out for an inspection exercise of these and other contraventions. Their first stop is Ketu Ikosi, which revealed its first major issue. The supporting iron under the culvert has been vandalized, leading to the collapse of water channel. Ago Palace Way, Okota is the next location visited, where some property owners have completely disregarded the building guidelines, blocking the water path and canal. Many seem to have ignored several warnings and stop work orders.
What people cannot do in their own private, you don't start doing it here, it's not proper. Why are we building all the other tribes and they are giving us setback? Why are we coming here? It's not fair. People should do what is right.
At System 6 water channel servicing Okota and its environs, some structures are dangerously close to the canal, which poses danger to those occupying the buildings. Community leaders in the area commend government's proactive steps in safeguarding life and property. Nevertheless, they appeal for notice before demolition.
If somebody may be gone away from what he's supposed to do, I cannot say that law will not take its effect. That is what I will say. But everything, let pre-warning be given, time and the normal time to say, remove this, do this, from so time to so time. So if they have enough information, things will not go bad.
The team moved to the Lekki-Ekpe Expressway, the Kwado area of Shangotedo, a waterlogged area. Driving down the road is a difficult task for vehicle owners as illegal structures within the area have blocked System 63. The owners have 14 days to move.
We had a petition sent into the state government about some individuals, unscrupulous individuals, that are taking the laws into their hands, block water paths, blocked canals. They will serve them the 14 days notice to remove the nuisance. And once that elapses, the law will take its course. The law, look, be mindful, we're in the rainy season. And I tell people, climate change is real.
A general primary channel at Chevron Drive was also checked to ascertain the level of ongoing dredging. At Ilabere Collector, Ikoyi, some property owners have also encroached on the drainage alignment.
The government is fixing a major infrastructure around this whole place. And if these collectors are not properly handled, we'll end up destroying that infrastructure in no time at all. So we've noticed some of the buildings have constricted our collectors, and we have to tell them to remove those structures.
He appeals to residents to keep their environments clean to reduce the spread of cholera outbreak.
And for our citizens, let us take personal responsibility for our hygiene. Like growing up, they'll tell you in Yoruba, and his cleanliness takes care of all these little elements. You go to the toilet, clean your hands, clean your food. They are so small, but they are very impactful.
These precautions seem even more urgent as rainy season continues, but the state government says it remains absolute to ensure Lagos metropolis is free of flooding and any life-threatening health situation.
We turn our attention to health now, and the latest reaching us right now is that the number of cholera cases right here in Lagos now stands at 579, with 29 deaths recorded already. We'll go live now for the briefing by the Lagos State government on this health challenge.
It doesn't have to be water filtered. With a good bowl on it, you know what I mean by bowl. Right? A good bowl on it and the big latrine. Well cleaned is just sufficient. These things are easily available and accessible, and we can do it with proper community engagement. The second thing is that we cannot deny the fact that there is a population explosion in Lagos, and a lot of people just come in from everywhere. Now, when they come in from every part of Nigeria with nightmares, they are not exactly sure, and you can't account for them. You don't know where they are staying. They just hide in crevices and uncompleted buildings here and there, and then they defecate openly in all of these places. We have, the state government particularly, has done a lot of things to champion registration, residence registration, so that the state can plan for them. When we know where you are, then we can plan for you, and then we can make these things available. So again, the community has to be responsible. When you see people around you who you don't know their whereabouts, who you are not familiar with, you actually should raise an alarm. Discuss people around you. When you see them doing those things, report to us, report to the Ministry of Environment, all ourselves are going to take it up. But I think that it is everyone's responsibility. It is a community-led sensitization program. You are going to take ownership of your own space, your own streets, your own environment, and raise an alarm whenever you find something that is not properly done. Thank you very much.
We have more for you on that cholera outbreak in Lagos and other parts of the country, but that's in a moment when Newsroom series returns. Stay with us. Welcome back. Let's head to Ogun State now, where the government has confirmed 25 cases of cholera in 17 local government areas in the state, with a casualty figure from Ijebu North local government and Eastern Senatorial District in the state. The State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Tomi Koka, gave this figure in Abeokuta, the state capital, during the press briefing held at the Olusegun Oshoba Press Center in the state capital. She says surveillance and emergency treatment have been activated in all 20 local government areas of the state free of charge. She also identified Abeokuta South, Abeokuta North, Obafemi Owode, Ijebu North, Ado, Odota, and local government areas as the most hit by this disease. Meanwhile, she's assuring the general public of the preparedness of the state government and its development partners. She, however, asks residents to maintain a high level of personal and public hygiene to contain the spread of the disease.
At the inception, we received the alert on the 12th of June 2024 about the first two cases. Both cases tested positive with a cholera rapid diagnostic kit and were managed at the State Hospital, Ota. The cases had travel history to Lagos State 24 hours prior to their presentation. As of today, the 24th of June 2024, Ogun State has recorded 25 suspected cases and in 7 LGAs, namely Ado Odota, Remo North, Odeda Shagamu, Ijebu North, Ewekoro, and Obafemi Owode, with 9 confirmed cases with the rapid test kit. Unfortunately, we reported a death at Ijebu North. Consequent upon these findings, it is imperative for us in Ogun State to declare an ongoing cholera outbreak in Ogun State. Prior to this, the cases had been sporadic, but in the last 72 hours, we've had a surge, and hence the reason why we've called this press conference.
Meanwhile, the special advisor of the Osun State Governor on Health Matters, Dr. Adekunle Akindele, has said that there are no confirmed cases of the cholera in the state. He says that there were 13 suspected cases, but all turned out negative. Mr. Akindele assures residents that the state government has reactivated and established the Public Health Rapid Response Team and Cholera Technical Working Group, all to ensure adequate surveillance and risk communication activities and to guarantee the health and safety of citizens, to also prevent the outbreak if ever a case is recorded. Assessed surveillance mechanisms have also been mounted across the 30 local government areas and border towns to fight the spread. In Oyo State, the House of Assembly says that everything needed will be done to pass laws that protect the rights of sickle cell patients to live productive and impactful lives. The Speaker, Oyo State House of Assembly, Honorable Adebo Ogundoyin, said this, and he gave this assurance at the commemoration of the 2024 Sickle Cell Day in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. The event was put together to support over 500 sickle cell patients across the state with drugs, cash, and sundry gifts, all to remember the day and the Speaker's late father, Adesheun Ogundoyin, who died as a result of complications from sickle cell disease.
Globally, sickle cell disease is prevalent in sub-Saharan Africa, with Nigeria carrying the highest burden of the disease. With an annual growth rate of 3.2, about 25% of adults in Nigeria have sickle cell trait, AS, while the HBC trait is largely confined to the Yoruba people of Southwest region, in whom it occurs in about 6%. These statistics makes it imperative for government, development partners, NGOs, healthcare professionals, and other stakeholders to work to end the avoidable scourge of sickle cell. For both the young and old, there's no immunity to pain in this world. Their daily lives, a constant struggle to navigate several crises to stay alive. Rigorous and major surgeries are constant companions for many sickle cell patients.
A lot of surgeries, we take a lot of drugs. We are on in and out to the hospital. It is not what everybody wants. It's not what I would love anybody to experience.
Against stereotyping and the associated stigma for sickle cell patients, the narratives keep evolving from sicklers to sufferers and now to warriors. These dynamic people have come a long way.
When people see us, they see us as weak. They see that we cannot perform optimally to expectations, so they don't employ us. So I'll plead that government should look into this aspect in terms of employment.
A glimpse into the lives of patients with sickle cell disease is revealing. It inspires hope despite the numerous inhibiting factors they have to contend with. Despite the gloomy outlook, warriors are finding ways to survive and live impactful lives.
I think the major challenge is when you have a crisis and you are in pain. But beyond that, you can also live a meaningful and a healthy lifestyle. You know yourself. You know what you need to do. You know the medications you need to take normally. You know how you need to position yourself, how you need to pace yourself. And you also have a support system.
To ensure that an end comes to the scourge, a lot needs to be done, and the Oyo State House of Assembly is taking the lead with appropriate laws.
As state legislature, we will work with other arms of government to pass laws, and we will also look into the implementation of existing laws that protect the rights of sickle cell patients and improve their living conditions so that they can live productive and impactful life.
A person living with sickle cell, you can also survive. You can also be an achiever. You don't have to sit there and allow the disease to just waste you away. The long time you have, short time you have, use it to make impact.
To avoid having more children born with these damning genes and the consequent complications, people need to be more aware. There must be laws to deter people from marrying without knowledge of their genotype. Government must also make it compulsory to test genotype and subsidize cost of tests and treatment for all sickle cell patients without bias. Bukola Orio, Channels Television News.
Afe Babalola University at Ado-Ekiti has recorded another success as the institution has been ranked #1 university in Nigeria for the third consecutive year. Are Afe Babalola, senior advocate of Nigeria, was speaking in a press conference in the university campus in Ado-Ekiti, says the university also received high rankings globally in the 2024 Times Higher Education Impact Rankings, adding that ABUD also ranked number 152 among all universities in the world and number 4 among universities in Africa.
Afe Babalola University, a non-profit private university, has excelled in many areas. 1. ABBA ranks #1 in the world for SDG 7. It means in the area of affordable and clean energy, which is the indicator relating to university for affordable and clean energy. ABBA is #1 in the world. Secondly, when you talk about outreach programs with stewardship score, we scored 98.0 out of 100. Number 3 again, that's what we call stewardship. ABUD ranks #1 in the world.
21 families of police members who were widowed have benefited from the scholarships and insurance from the Police Officers' Wives Association in Lagos. 8 out of the children received scholarship for their university career. 13 of them were awarded health insurance schemes. Presenting the package to the children in Ikeja in Lagos, the wife of the Inspector General of Police, Elizabeth Egbetokun, explains that this is one in a set of relief packages for the children and the widows.
For many years, police officers across the country have paid the supreme price in the fight to end criminality, which has left many families devastated with no one to cater to their needs. Bringing succor to the families of those in this category, the wife of the Inspector General of Police, Mrs. Elizabeth Egbetokun, and her entourage are welcomed to Lagos State with a parade mounted by wives of policemen. Shortly after, the move to the power hall for the day's business. In her opening remarks, chairperson of the Police Officers' Wives Association in Lagos State speaks on the need to continuously assist families of slain officers.
The widow, as we know, loses their health insurance benefit with the untimely demise of their husband, making access to health care unduly costly for them. The introduction of the health insurance program for widows will alleviate the difficulties encountered in having access to affordable health care. I am determined to continue with this noble project because it is of immense help, especially to the families of our fallen heroes, and it has impacted positively on the life of our children.
The Lagos State government assures the association that it will continue to support their initiatives.
Lagos State Chapter POA, by this initiative, is keeping up with our administration's policy initiatives. On health, as a state, we have a good health insurance for all citizens of Lagos State. So what Lagos State POA is doing is supporting the initiative of the administration of Governor Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu in amplifying every other programs that the governor is initiating.
Then the presentation of scholarships and insurance policies to children of police officers and men who died in active service.
We are here to actually encourage them, empowering them, schools, scholarship and health scheme. That is why we are here. That's another way of empowering them, telling them that they are not alone. That's the wives of the late
A step in the right direction, according to widows or slain officers who believe the initiative should be expanded to cater to the needs of these families now and in the future.
And that's where we end our focus from the southwestern region of Nigeria. Thank you so much for watching Newsroom Series today. I'm Anne Nwawadu.